Good evening. Welcome to the September 19th meeting of the Parks, Recreation, and Seniors Commission. We're calling the meeting to order at 6:35 p.m. I'm Jack Penders. To my right is Sue Robbins. To Sue's right is Claire Dunn. To Claire's right is Diane Van Steenbergen. To Diane's right is Suzanne McDermott. To my left, Rose Dostert, Vice Chair. To Rose's left, Rick Maynard, Director of Department of Parks and Recreation and Seniors. And to Rick's left is Catherine Stewart, the Commission Recorder, and Commission Secretary, I'm sorry. And the man behind the camera is Peter Schultz, our videographer. Before we begin the formal agenda, I'd like the Commission's permission to consider new business 9A, which for the record is the introduction of the new program coordinators for the department, Sean Keel and Corey Patrick. So with your acquiescence, we'd like them to come up now. And gentlemen, you can come up and sit. Rick is going to introduce you, so.
Sit here.
Yeah, there you go.
We can move over, so.
So we're pleased to have Sean Keogh and Corey Patrick, both newly appointed hired to the program coordinator positions. Sean is replacing Lindsay Wilbur, who resigned back in April. It's been a while. But Sean is a graduate of Southern Connecticut State University. He interned with us last year. He has been working with us as a receptionist when that position opened up, so he's been with us on a part-time basis for a while. And so he's not new to the department. And Corey Patrick is a graduate of University of Maine, both majored in recreation, both guys. And Corey worked with us off and on for in different programs for about close to a year, I think. He's helped out with a lot of different special events. In fact, he's the one who initiated and coordinated the Earth Day event we had on the green this year. And so he just started Monday, a week ago, last Monday with us. So they're both here full-time, and he's replacing Andrew Turner, who accepted a similar position in Westport. And so that's why we had some vacancies. And we're very happy. These guys are a good part of the team already. They've been doing things together since the week that they've worked together. I can't give you the breakdown of who's doing what. Ellen has a better handle on that, and they might be able to tell you. But the duties are split up somewhat evenly between the two guys. Sean is also going to be working with the senior side of the office, working with helping Terry and Patty with bocce and pickleball and some of the special events and so on. So he's splitting his time a little bit between the two sections. So they're both great guys, and we're really pleased to have them working with us.
Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Who's Sean and who's Corey?
Corey.
Corey. Okay.
Corey lives in Guilford, Sean's in Wallingford, so they're both not too, well, he's close and he's not too far.
He'll get here someday.
Welcome again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Do you have your speech
Yeah,
ready again?
Yeah,
We appreciate it very much.
All right.
Corey, you'll be missed in preschool.
I know,
was
I know.
told today repeatedly that Mr. Corey's no longer.
Yeah. Friday I'll be filling in, and
Okay,
we're
good.
working to. I'm interviewing on Wednesday. We've got 2 candidates that we're going to interview for that position.
Big shoes to
But-
fill.
Yeah, I know. I'll make an appearance.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
You guys
You
can
can
go.
stay.
All right.
Stay and go. We'll
Thank
see how
you.
dedicated you are.
Yeah, I guess it's back to work.
Yeah.
That's right, it's for overtime, too.
We'll go back here so that I can see you guys.
Thank you very much. Item number 2 on the agenda is the public forum. I see 2 folks from Lake Quantipoc, Carla and Joan. Ladies?
I'll give you guys, update on what has happened since
me get
I was here
you a
last
chair.
time. We had a large lake cleanup that turned out to be went very, very well. We had about 20, 25 boats out there, and I had about 35 buckets, 5-gallon buckets with holes drilled in them that the cadet trooper, they go for fire department, punch the holes through so they could put the weeds in, and then they'd bring them in by boat, and James DeVoe donated an all-terrain vehicle that we could use to dump everything in. So they'd bring in the buckets and we'd dump them in the Polaris, and then a couple of the cadets would take them off and dump them at a special site that I had nearby, which was really convenient for everybody. And then, so we did the whole area around the sandbar on the north, south, east, and west, and then we went in the cove, which was a real mess, because everything catches in that cove as it comes down to the left, and that needs a lot more work. And that may be an area that we should consider doing some treatment with the next time we have some money for herbicides, because it's really closing in, and it's going to be just like the south end. Also, Charla has spoken to some Boy Scout, a leader of a Boy Scout troop, to do some community service on the lake, because we had brought that up as one of the projects that we wanted to do. So we're not exactly sure what that will consist of, but we're thinking of maybe a cleanup day along with the town, when they have their cleanup day, and get the Public Works to leave a truck, a dump truck, or, you know, a pickup from the beach area there on the other side, the parking lot area, just get heavy-duty trash bags, and they can go all around the lake and then leave them, tie them, and the Public Works pick them up and tie that in with the town lake cleanup. That'll take care, because there's, you know, along the edge and also along the roadway, because that never gets done up there at all.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then this weekend, 4 of us attended the Connecticut Lakes Federation conference up in New London, and that was went very well. We learned what some other lakes are doing and things that we could do, and so a bunch of us have joined it. And we'll be on the regular email list, and we've made some contacts with other people, and now made a contact with the president of the Association of Westlake, so that may help us get some more ideas of things to do. And then we've had discussions with Greg Bugby on what to do with the money that's left. I understand there's like $27,000 left for the about.
Close to that.
Yeah, so he said we have until July 1st next year to use up that money, but I just want to make sure that gets done. And we've suggested specific areas that we'd like him to do. One of them is outside the beach area, you know, where you had the mats, and then out from the ropes on down to where they stopped, near the sandbar area, and then do a stretch all the way down the south end. You can just open up that wide enough, about 6 feet, with the herbicide, so you know you can use canoes and kayaks and rowboats and access and open up that area. Because if we don't keep it open, and then the following year, what we'd like to do is invest most of our money probably in some type of harvester, go down there and take that stuff out. Because just, you know, using the herbicides, it kills the weeds, but the weeds go to the bottom, and then it becomes muck. The areas where we were taking the weeds out, in front of Karen Strawson's house there, I mean, I was in muck up to above my knees, just trying to get out of the boat and get to the edge. So there's a lot of muck. So I can imagine what is down the south end, but that really, that's I think the next big major event that we have to take care of. But everybody so far is happy, but like, as you know, weeds with your garden, you pull them
You come back.
and they come back up, so this has to be a continual thing. And I did go before the selectmen last meeting that they had, and did get a commitment for them, $50,000 every year.
Wow.
So that toward the lake, so.
Good for you.
That's
And
great.
that'll go through your department, but like I said, we want to work with you, not against you. And we know what people want up there, and, because everybody's on the lake, but basically that's it. And that whole area up there by the boat ramp, that cleaned that out good when they came through there. So,
John, thank you so much for your efforts.
Thank you.
You and the
Yeah,
rest of the
thank you.
folks at Friends of Lake Quantapug. Just one request,
Yes.
just for the record. We all know you, just your name and address.
Joan Stepacker, 5 Cheryl Lane, Lake Quantico, North Guilford.
Joan, when you went to the thing in Yolanda, are there different things that people are doing that we are not doing?
Yeah, there are some things that they're doing.
And it seems
'cause
feasible that
each
we
lake
could
is-
start to look at some of
yeah.
this? Okay.
Each lake, you know, it's
Each lake
different
is
size.
different, I know that, yes.
Different access, some have private associations,
Right.
which, you know, are incorporated, and they assess funds, assess a tax to be able to pay for things which we don't have here. Some of them have dams that are, which is the opposite of ours, dams owned by the lake, but the boat ramps are owned by the town, where ours is just the opposite. You know, so, and that's, so we,
John, did you get any experience or anything to share with the friends from that lake in Old Lyme? And I can't think of the name of it.
Rogers Lake.
Rogers something, is that Rogers Lake?
I didn't really speak to anybody personally about that, no.
Okay.
I know Nancy and Dave Chase, they had spoken to someone and had kayaked out there, but I don't know all the details. And I can find out more. They're not here tonight, so.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Carla?
When we took the benthic blankets out,
Yeah.
Joan was helping with that too. She came and she was wading around in the muck, helping, in the water side, helping get them up, and we pulled them out.
And they did
so she
work.
was- Yeah.
So does it look like we're gonna get more of them next year?
I think we should probably buy a couple more, just to extend a
And
little
just
bit
keep
more.
extending.
A little farther.
Yeah, yeah.
That was one thing that they did talk a lot about, different organizations talked about, like organizations was Atlantic barriers, and that, just beware that over time, they are gonna, disintegrate.
Yeah.
You know, so by taking them out and, you know, storing them instead of keeping them in the water is, and they talked about the whole idea of how, mud and everything else will build up on top of the benthic barriers, and they're still gonna get weeds, so, you know,
So it's important to pull them out.
it's important to pull them out, yeah.
Okay.
I think in the interest of Joe and Charlotte, I think it'd be worthwhile to move item 8A, unfinished business, Lake Quantapug weed control report.
Yep.
Move it up to the agenda right now. That way you don't have to.
Want to do that?
Let's
Yeah.
do- let's do
It's
that.
really not much more than what Joe
Yeah.
kind of addressed, but, yeah, and we did remove the remaining benthic barriers that we had taken out of the beach area before Memorial Day. If you remember, we got some out, totally out of the lake, but there were maybe half or more that we just didn't have time to get them out. We just we had to get them out of the way for swimming. So we went to the south end of the beach there, and they sat there until, I don't know, mid-August, late August, whenever we took them out. And that's what I was referring to. Joan was there, and she helped us actually do that. It was successful, and then I went with Greg Bugby on his boat, and we looked at the areas that were treated with the chemical application. The north end by the boat launch, that whole area there was big improvement from what we had seen previously.
Did he do a follow-up report on that?
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
See
I
whether it's
actually had
effective?
called him today, and I wasn't able to reach him, but, yeah, he's got to do a kind of a close-up post-treatment inspection. That's part of the grant report we need. And so I don't know if that's been done yet or not. I don't know. He may have done it. I was away last week, and so I don't know. But I'm trying to get that anyways, or at least find out where he is with it, to get that accomplished, and we get that all done, and then this year's behind us, and we look toward next year. You're right, we do have some money that'll be left over, so
Yeah.
with Greg's advice, we'll have to look at, okay, what do we do next?
He was talking about a treatment like in May, another treatment then.
Mhm.
But we're really pushing to get something done on the south end.
Right.
And plus a little more on.
See, with any of the grant money, we can only use it toward those invasive weeds that were identified. If there were more somewhere else, we could do that. If not, maybe he might want to retreat some of the areas, that we had already done. But it doesn't mean that the town money, I think, could possibly go towards some of the other, as long as we can differentiate it.
5,000 of it was from the Choate and 5 from
Right.
the Guilford Foundation, so
Mhm.
there's.
It's 10 right there, right, yeah. Well, the Guilford Foundation, they wanted that went toward the benthic barriers, and that was kind of earmarked for
Yeah.
that. But to your point, it was $10,000 above and beyond the 40,000, 20 town, 20, so it's really 50,000 we had altogether.
Yeah. Plus, I'd like to, really get the south end cleaned out a little bit, or, dredged out, so there's water accessible
Yeah.
for the fire department, in case. Because the only other area is the boat ramp, and that goes down, and it gets really mucky in there too. And, you need water, especially with the condos up there for.
I would agree, there has to be some way to find the means of affecting the south end.
Yeah.
I mean, It's almost been an obstacle to us.
Yeah.
We're doing great work elsewhere, but not that south end, and it's a major problem.
Yeah. We're also in the process of looking at, to see exactly who owns the land around the dam, where all the tractors are and everything, and maybe get Boy Scout troop down there to clean that all up and make a little area, and maybe get a nice sign made up that says, Lake Quantapug and with gold, something nice,
Nice.
real nice.
That bridge
Yeah.
that's there, that stone bridge,
Yeah.
I cannot see, maybe it's my eyes, but I cannot see the date on that thing. There's a date on there.
Oh.
It's-
Oh, I don't know. I never looked.
But the weather over the
I have,
decades, or maybe centuries have, yeah.
I'll make a point of looking at it
I'm gonna go
tomorrow.
stop now. I'll go by there every day.
I'm sorry?
I'm gonna stop now, because now I'm curious.
Email us all
Yeah, I
those what
will.
the date is.
Well, maybe you
That's my
can
neck
see
of
it.
the woods,
I-
because I go by that every day.
I'm going by it
I
tomorrow.
took pictures
so I'll
of
check
it
out.
and tried to, enlarge them.
All right.
But there's a
Figure it out.
documentation somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jack and Rick and I attended that board of selectmen meeting, and to echo what Mr. Mazza said was, it doesn't make sense to do it once and not. So to be able to continue this good work,
Yep.
we're getting ahead of it eventually. So it's important that we keep it up, which is
Good.
great that that's going to happen now.
We got their commitment, so.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
So whatever ways we have to go about getting something done in the south end, we'll have to do it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Joan.
you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thanks.
Thanks for all your help.
Agenda item 3, 3A correspondence, Rick, received.
Well,
I know one pertains to the Choate.
Yeah.
Of course, I think Rick mentioned that to you a few moments ago. This is just correspondence from Choate
Oh,
acknowledging the fact that they're sending the $5,000 if they haven't already.
They received
Yeah,
it.
right. From Heather LaFontaine.
Yeah.
maybe we can get them to give us some more.
You don't ask, you don't get. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Yep.
All right.
So the concerts were well received.
Concerts were, yeah. We had weather issues. It was either like really hot or humid, or the last one, that was the best night. It was a beautiful night, not too hot. It was just really nice.
Oh,
and-
good.
And it was way dark by the time they finished.
Sorry.
But that was the Eagles tribute band, and I think there was an email somebody sent
Yes, I did.
of how much they appreciated it.
Do they have a tribute to Don Henley there at all?
Not specifically, but,
Glenn Fry.
yeah.
You're the wrong Eagle.
Well,
The right band?
there's a tribute to all the Eagles. The bald Eagles, the golden Eagles, the Eagle Scouts.
Don Henley, this is the second time I've heard somebody kill him off in the past, like, 2 weeks. Poor guy. He's kicking, he's
Then
alive
somebody
and
knows
kicking.
something.
my apologies.
He might be watching this.
I'm
He'd
sure
be-
he's watching. Oh, sure.
I'm sure he is. Gonna lock my car.
And we didn't hear back from the bike park, from Brendan. I mean, he just,
I talked with him, and actually happened to be with the Interact Club
Okay.
at a Rotary meeting, and each of the Interact kids spoke a little bit about what they do to Rotary, at the Rotary meeting, and there I had mentioned, I singled Brendan out and just said what a tremendous presentation he gave to the commission here, to the Rotary members. They actually all applauded him, and I just said he was so well-spoken, so mature in his presentation, and it just, because of insurance issues, it wasn't going to work out. And, but he totally, he got it, he understood, something he was excited about, but he said, I'm sorry, we just can't do it.
so am I, actually.
Well, as an alternative, there are bike trails, not necessarily a bike park, or, yeah, not necessarily a bike park, but there are trails that can be accessed by Peddler's Park or 3 Mile Road that's in Westwoods.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you might consider that as a temporary alternative. Okay.
Oh, the other one I just put in here, this was an article that was in
I saw that.
Neighbor
that was
Register,
interesting.
and it just mentioned our senior section of, as being a sort of a model. If you looked, I highlighted over in the the column almost all the way to the right.
Right.
And they said, although our neighboring towns of Guilford and Madison have a smaller senior population than Branford, their facilities and programs they offer come much closer to the new ideal as a study by AARP has described it. So I just wanted to highlight that. I thought it was interesting. That was in a
Yeah.
New Haven Register. It was kind of mentioned our group here as being a pretty positive thing that we do for the
The
Active Big Five.
AARP awards
It's pretty
senior centers every year or so. Maybe we should apply for that. It's publicity. I'm not sure if there's a grant, but it's worth it. Recognition at the very least.
I'm looking good.
Yeah.
Can you give me a copy of that?
Oh, here.
That wasn't in
behind.
your, wasn't in the packet?
She had it. Thanks.
Okay.
Item 4, approval of the August 1st, 2016 minutes.
And they seem so far away.
Can we have a motion to approve the minutes of August 1st, 2016?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any corrections, omissions, additions,
No, it was good to me.
omissions?
We're good.
Hearing none, seeing none? All those in favor of adopting those minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Have to abstain?
And Sue Robbins abstains. Thank you, Sue.
I was not here.
And agenda item 5, review and approval of expenditures for August 2016. Let's get a motion to put it on the table.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Any corrections, any omissions?
If I can make a correction, the second page,
Yeah.
Parks Maintenance, the second one, Choate Rosemary Hall.
Right.
That's actually, that was the donation we got, it's not an
Yeah.
expenditure. It was,
That's a little different.
yeah, so the bottom line on that column there would be, take 5,000 off, so it'd be 5,745.
65,
Yeah, then the bottom there, instead of 132, it'd be 127, 243.94.
And you mentioned on the first page, Rick, under building maintenance, there are 2 bills that are identical.
They're identical,
But there's
I want to make
they're
sure. I wasn't
separate bills,
duplicate.
though.
They were, yeah.
Yeah.
There was rubber gloves, and they're, like the disposable gloves, and one order was like larges, the other one was extra large, they're just different
Sizes.
sizes, yeah.
I had a question on the second page under field maintenance. Can you just briefly describe what Pioneer Manufacturing, the
Yeah, that's the
6972?
field marking paint.
Oh, marking
Yeah.
paint. And how long does that,
That'll last us for all of the fall and into the spring,
so, a whole,
yeah.
that's a lot.
I think we're
So-
budgeted about $10,000, 10 or 12,000 for
Okay.
field marking paint.
Okay. And then under the Guilford High School Science Wing, does the Eversource bill, I didn't look at last month's to compare, how does that seem in comparison to where we've been? Seemed a little higher, but I don't know,
Well, I don't know, there's no air conditioning there, so it's not, wouldn't have gone up for that. I don't have last month's,
Last month, Eversource, July, was $1,500.
So-
So it's
Went down a
less,
bit.
so
Yeah.
less, okay.
and the one that says to Guilford Public Schools,
Yeah,
that's actually the
that's-
security
that's-
system.
Okay.
It's a security system, and they
Right.
pay it, and we reimburse them. And we don't have a water bill, that's quarterly, so we don't have water. And the Southern Connecticut gas, that's 2 months.
Now, didn't I say we were gonna list the kiosk separately?
Yeah, I caught that.
Okay.
I wasn't in last week when this was sent out, but that one is, and I asked Bonnie to make sure she does that. That's 6271 on the first page, utilities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's pretty consistent, because we just got another one today,
I thought it.
and it was about the same amount, $65, something like
Before
that.
was too, yeah, okay.
So we'll be voting on the motion to approve the expenditures for August 2016 in the amount of $127,243 and
94 cents?
Yeah.
50, is that 54 or 51?
94.
94.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? None. Motion carries. Section 6, Rick, agenda item number 6, department reports.
My first question is, do we have any receptionists? And if not, who's doing the job right now?
Right now, it's everybody.
Everybody does.
We, Sue sat in interviews, and I don't know if I can announce it, because I don't know if Mitch has officially contacted the person
Well,
yet.
we have,
We have somebody that we liked, that was good. I think we all agreed on the same person. I was away last week, Mitch was away today, and so I did ask him last week, though, to contact, to get, at least do the reference checks that he has to do on the individual, and then, move forward. But for now, basically Bonnie, Patty, they're doing the brunt of the work.
don't we need more than one person?
We had 2.
Yeah.
But we were proposing that we go with one at just under 20 hours a week, 19 and a half. The most we can go is 19 and a half. Beyond
Okay.
that, they have to be part of the GEA. And we were recommending that we move Bonnie and Patty's positions from 35 to 40 hours. Everybody else in the office is 40. They're the only ones not. So that would gain us 10 more hours. The advantage of that is that it gives us full-time people who are also helping with the front counter. We had some problems, always had some problems, when we had 2 different receptionists, because things would get lost, misplaced, communication, not because of anybody's fault, it's just that somebody maybe did something on Monday, the person on Tuesday didn't know the Monday person did it, it was getting redone or whatever. And so I looked at it financially. We actually save about $1,000 by doing what I'm suggesting. It's less expensive. And we have the consistency of full-time staff helping pick up the pieces where those hours when we don't have somebody there. And the other thing really, I think, as I looked at, it's kind of, the business is sort of more seasonal, and it's periodically when we have sale registration, it gets crazy busy, but that's like 4 times a year, and it's for a few days, and after that. And because most people are registering online now, when we had started out with the 2 receptionists, most people were at the front counter registering. Now, a lot of the seniors still do, but the general public, 85% or so, are registering online now, so we're not getting that traffic anymore. And so we looked at it, I talked with staff about it, and actually it was initiated by staff to suggest doing this. Terry and Ellen and I meet at least every week or every 2 weeks, and we have, I call them management meetings. We talk about just things about the office operation. And we discussed this, and everybody thought, yeah, this seems like a better way to do it.
Make that continuity
Yeah.
of positions
So
so
who's-
that people know.
Who's going to 40 hours? Is it going to be, who's going to 40?
Bonnie and Patty.
So it'd be the administrative assistant, and Patty is the assistant to Terry. The other advantage is I would stagger their hours, and I already talked with them about this. One of them would be here definitely till at least 5 o'clock, because the office closes at 4:30. I'm always here after that, Terry's always here after that, but I'm not jumping up at the counter, I'm trying to get stuff done. But there always are people that come after 4:30, they're at work.
Right.
And the phones are ringing, especially if we have a rainy day, phone rings off the hook, our field's open, and not today, because it was pretty obvious, but, and so, I talked to them, I think we would probably have one of them work 8:30 to 5:30, so we'd actually have someone in the office till 5:30, and one of them would work 8 to 5. So it extends the hours of having coverage there. And the other thing is, for Patty, the bus drivers sometimes come in after 4:30, 5 o'clock, if it's a trip or something. If there's a dispatch issue, there's a bus problem or something, there's nobody there to answer the radio. So I think it makes a lot of sense, it gives us better coverage, extends the coverage, and I think it'll just work better overall for our department to do it this way. And it's cost less.
So then, will that change the hours that are posted for the public to know when they can call or when they can come in?
Yeah, it might, I mean, we may change it to 5 o'clock instead of 4:30. Yeah, I don't think we'd say 5:30, you know. But I can tell you, sometimes I get more done between 4:30 and 5:30, I do the whole rest of the day.
Not many interruptions.
Yeah. Mhm.
So Rick, what will be the schedule of the individual who's hired for 19 and a half hours?
Yeah, I think we're looking at 10 to 2, so it would cover like lunch times, so that, you know, we make sure lunch is covered, and if Patty goes out to lunch, or which she usually doesn't, or Bonnie, then we have them there. And, you know, there'd be one
And
day.
that's when the seniors are.
Yeah. The busiest time is morning. I asked Sean, actually, when he was in that position, I said, what was the busiest time that you saw? He said 9 to 11 or 10 to 2 was the busiest. Now, it's, like I said, seasonally, it can change a little bit. Sometimes in the afternoon it's a little bit busy. But we'd have the other full-time staff that would be there. And right now, they've been doing it for the last 2-3 weeks, you know, and they've been doing a good job with it. When I say they, mostly it's been Patty and Bonnie, mostly Bonnie. But I did emphasize, I gotta make sure she can still get stuff done that I need to get done if we're gonna do this. But right now, they're doing it, and we don't have anybody up there. And so we're talking about, we'd have somebody say 20 hours, 19 and a half. So there would, really, each one would just be the backup, you know, those hours when we don't have the receptionist there.
So from 2 to 5 to
Something like that, yeah.
8 to 10.
Mhm.
Well, I guess it's an experiment in flexibility and
Yeah.
cost savings.
What happens?
But to have somebody work from 10 to 2, you have to get a special person who's going to stay.
Mhm.
So you're not going to be back there, or we're not going to be back there 2 months from now.
Right. Well, the person that we looked at is somebody that
Do we
is
think
very,
we'll stay?
very available, any of the hours, she said, I'm available any hours you need me.
Yeah.
And I think she would be around for a while.
Okay. I
Good.
hope so.
Good.
I hope so.
And it's thanks to Sue for being part of that committee when we did the interviews.
No problem. Happy to do it.
And so, everything I just told you, this hasn't all been approved yet
Right.
because Mitch has been out, I was out last week. I wrote a sort of a documentation for it. He's got to go to the first selectman to get his approval on it, so that hasn't happened yet.
Okay. And the other thing I wanted to say is I did go down to Jacobs, I did walk on the ADA walkway, thank you.
Mhm.
How about Tony Anicelli's report, Rick? Anything you want to highlight there?
You know, I guess, you can just get a little glimpse, as you do every month. Tony does a great job of writing up, the stuff that they do.
Absolutely.
And, one thing we've been asked, it's something we've never had to do before, 1, 2, 3, the 5th bullet down, swap banners at the PD. So what this is, remember on Route 1, used to be the banners going over Route 1?
Right.
Well, I think the poles are not safe anymore, or the wires that went across or something. So now they're going on the the basketball courts at the police station. So you see them from, if you get on the highway exit, off from exit 58 there. And so it's been made our responsibility to take them down and put them up every week. So when the Guilford Fair was going on, they had to bring the banner here, our guys have to go put it up. When that's done, they take it down, whatever the next group is, they're put up, take it down. I think I've been told that the town was looking into maybe a digital type board, and, you know, maybe that goes on, I don't know where that goes, but this is temporary, we're not gonna be doing this like forever.
Well, I was wondering why
Yeah.
October 17th is.
Yeah.
I was wondering what happened on October
Mhm.
17th is to,
So it's a temporary thing, and you know, so
So does the department do all of the banners now?
we put them up, yeah. So Ellen is sort of coordinating that, so she'll get a list from the selectman's office of what goes up this month and the dates, when they go up, when they have to come down. She'll get that, and she's communicating with Tony and say, hey, Tony, remember, we've got to take this one down, the next one goes up Monday. So she has that list, and she's been coordinating that with Tony.
Well, who do it in the past?
Um,
Police department, fire department?
Fire department,
The one on Route 1.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah,
They used
they
to do
did.
that, yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, because they needed a bucket truck to get it up there.
Okay.
Well, he keeps busy, that's for sure. and
Sure does,
Does a great
um,
job outlining what he does.
They installed the handicap walk or handicap accessible?
yes, I did go down and see it.
You did?
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, that's, and in fact, I saw some people who seemed like they had a little difficulty walking, using it to get down toward the water.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, and I should mention, I met with, a week ago Saturday, the girls from Waves of Freedom, the ones that donated the money for the bike rack down there. So a week ago Saturday, they wanted me to have a picture taken with them, officially acknowledging that the bike rack is there. And so they asked, they want to do some more fundraising, and they said, is there anything else at Jacobs Beach? And so I was kind of on the spot. I said, well, I mean, a couple things I can think of. We've been talking about maybe a beach wheelchair is a possibility. We had one at one time, if you want to do that. Or the other one is, somebody recently had asked me about the boardwalk we have for the boat rack. On the left side of the boat rack, there's a whole nother sort of access there. Now, for the racks on the far side, there's no ramp there going down. So somebody asked, well, can we put a ramp over there? So I said, that's another idea. If you want to do some fundraising for either one of those, it's something that would benefit the community. The boat ramp definitely would immediately benefit a lot of people, because there are, 3 racks over there? 45 people with kayaks over there, have to drag them through over the stones and mud and everything. So if we were able to put another boardwalk ramp down there, that would benefit all those people there
Yeah.
too.
Great.
So, they're gonna be part of on October 8th, we're having the Fall Festival down at the beach. I don't know if that's in Ellen's report or not, but,
Why do I not see it?
I think it's not, she basically highlighted things from the summer. But October 8th, we have our annual Fall Festival. So the Waves of Freedom kids want to be part of that, and I think they're going to do a brownie sale or something and try to raise some money for some other improvement down at Jacobs Beach. So they're great. They started this when they were in 5th grade. They're freshmen in high school
I know,
now.
that's great. They're a nice group.
Yeah.
Is that the event where there's going to be a demonstration on
Yeah.
disc golf,
Mhm.
frisbee golf? Great.
Oh, my son-in-law's gonna be thrilled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's gonna be there, and, the inflatables for the kids, I think there's a band, I'm not sure who it is at this point, but, it's all the typical activities we do down there, but yes, disc golf there'll be a demonstration, people will actually have a chance to try it and get introduced to it.
I have somebody will be there.
In Ellen's report, she highlighted, I think, or did a pretty good job highlighting some of the major summer activities. The Camp Monuckatuck was
Pretty
fantastic
successful.
this year, very, very big. Get Out, Way Out, 2 or 3 years ago, we were averaging 15 or 18 kids, and now we got 40. It's a big, big jump. In fact, Corey Patrick, he was one of the staff in Get Out, Way Out this year. And the previous year, Sean, as part of his internship, helped set up all the trips for that program, for Get Out, Way Out. So they both have had part of that. But I think part of their efforts have helped it grow to where it is now. And we used to be able to transport the kids in our own buses But now we have to go with the school buses now, because it's so big. So that was really good. And preschool camp, I mean, we had, 2 summers ago, I think we canceled preschool camp. We didn't have enough kids, and it was full every session this year. And
That camp is held here.
and half of the kids belong to the Kincaid Dunn family.
My kids love it here.
Right.
And then she listed a number of beach passes, which were good.
And also, to that end, with the preschool camp here, you've made some improvements on the fencing there?
Well, not during the camp, after, yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. Right. We, it was just a week or two ago, Todd White, he pressure washed it, repainted it. There were a couple rotted posts that were replaced. And I think when we talk about next year's budget, we really should replace it, because it's getting old. I mean, it's been there 23 years or so, and it's rotting in some of the wood. I did get a quote for it, but it was just too much. It was like $6,500. It's too much for us to take out of somewhere right now. So I think maybe when we do next year's budget, we put that in there.
Put it on our budget.
But what Todd and some of the guys from the facilities department helped him replace some of the rotted boards, so at least it's safe.
Yeah.
And he cleaned it up, painted it, and it, looks good,
Good.
anyway.
It'll last till then.
Yeah.
Are you gonna remember to look at these fees in the spring?
I think we need to address that, yeah. Yeah, it's a problem with change,
Yeah,
somebody gives
I
you
get it.
$7, and we gotta always have dollar bills, or,
Yeah.
Rick, what's the comparison from previous years for that? I mean, is that a good season that you sold that
I
many?
think it is. I looked at, if you added up, I don't know how many of these are resident and non-resident,
Mhm.
so I just assumed all these were residents. So our total, if they're all residents, the total should be about $57,700. We're budgeted for $65,000, but we still have next spring.
Right.
So, I think we're gonna be okay. I don't know I can't tell you really how it compares, it actually really straddles 2
The
seasons.
seasons are the end of May until the end of August.
Yeah.
But we have 2 budgets in
Right,
between that.
right. But I can tell you, I thought that the beaches were very well attended this year. It was hot, dry summer. I mean, we could have a summer where it's a lot wet and chilly, and the numbers could be way down. So it's hard to compare year to year. But this was, I think what they said, the hottest summer, or driest summer anyway, on record.
Well, the shade structure next year will certainly help that.
Yes.
Yeah.
They'll be huddled under it.
The seniors program report, Rick, if you would.
Lots of stuff.
I was gonna say it's.
Yeah. Well, one thing I can mention is the picnic at Jacobs Beach, September 9th. There were 100 seniors there at that picnic. Were you at that one?
No, I
Or
was
you were
away.
away? There were
I was away.
100 seniors down there. I went down, I was there for a while. And this entertainer, T-Bone, we've had him before.
Yep.
People love him. He does a great job. Larry's out there cooking his hot dogs, and his staff with him, and Terry and her husband running around like crazy trying to get the potato salad dished out and serving it. And it was a great event. Seniors loved it. They loved the beach. They loved going down there for these events. 100 people.
Yeah.
And that same night, so that was 100 seniors, and that night we had a open mic night for the high school kids
Wow.
down there, and so we were there till 8:30 with that on that Friday evening. And there were 35 kids came out for that, very well behaved, a good
Nice.
event. They kind of coordinated, organized it, they helped promote it at the school. They organized the 5 or 6 or 7 kids that came and did some performance. And actually, some of the seniors who were there in the afternoon were there that night.
Nice.
Just came for some more entertainment. It was a good event.
It's nice.
We got the light from the light tower from the fire department, because it was dark. It gets, by 7:45 it was dark. And it ended about 8, but by the time we all got out, it was about 8:30. And we had pizza for the kids, and it's something they would like to do more of. They'd like to do some events here, and I said, just come and meet with Sean and
Absolutely.
Corey and Ellen, and, we'll do something. As long as a core group of kids are gonna help organize it, and help kind of keep an eye on things, then we'd be happy to have some events here too. So that was a good initial one. It was really good. It was again, the kids were great. 35 was a very manageable crowd, and I think it will grow. Great.
Make like a little cafe open mic here in our, or coordinate with like the marketplace or even Park on Church. Sean and Corey can work on that. It's right up there.
The other thing that I found really interesting is the number of senior meals, 32,000
Oh, I know,
senior
that's
meals.
just unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a lot of meals.
And the good news is that, you know, our budget is $25,000 for the subsidy.
Yes.
We are under
We're
budget.
under budget.
They do a phenomenal job in
Yeah.
there.
Hired a magician. Really, he does a
Hmm.
lot.
Yeah. And a big key, and if you look at that right-hand column, the breakfast one, the
Yes.
breakfast, anybody can come and have breakfast.
Yes.
Anybody can come and have breakfast. Advertise it. It's open to anybody. The lunches are for seniors, you know, because that's subsidized. But breakfast is full pay, full meal, the full cost, and then some. But that 18,000 is
very
net from
low.
breakfast. That helps subsidize the lunch.
Yes.
Without that, we would have been way in the hole with the lunch
Yes.
subsidy. So we're glad that people come for the breakfast. I'll tell you, sometimes I've gone down there to grab a coffee, and
It's a lot of people there.
there are 30, 35 people. Sometimes there's more people for breakfast, almost, or at least as many as there are here for lunch. And it's sometimes the people come down from the exercise class, come down and have something to snack, just hang out for a while. Or the mothers or fathers have their kids in gymnastics, or grandfathers. Someone can sit here, have kids in gymnastics, they might grab a bagel and a coffee or a tea or something, and so it's a good service too for people that
I think it's great.
are here. They can get something to eat while they're hanging around. I know the rest of you say, I can't wait to retire so I can come and have that.
I am retired, but I never get here, I'm so busy. I need to do it.
Just to clear up something, when we talk about the subsidy, it's a $25,000 subsidy from the town of Guilford that's put into our operating budget
Correct. For the food costs.
for the food costs.
Yeah.
It's almost a dedicated amount for food costs. But a lot of the balance of our operating budget is also subsidized by the town through taxpayers' dollars as well.
The cooks, yeah, the utilities, all that, yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is specifically so we don't have to jump the price
No, I understand.
way up for the lunch for the seniors. It's helping subsidize the meal for the seniors.
Well, I'm asking for the explanation because we'll probably hear about that in a few months.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to eliminate a problem
Yeah.
before it's presented to us.
Mhm.
Okay. Agenda item 7. Standing Fields Committee. Rick?
Yeah, well, you know, we're peripherally involved with the new synthetic turf field at the high school. It's not directly under us or under the field committee, because it's still part of the high school project. But we've all had input into it. It was, you know, part of the issues with design. They run things by the field committee. But really, the biggest thing is the Koch project, which I thought I already mentioned that one. No, sorry. I was thinking, did I say that in my report already? The Koch project is coming along pretty well. It's the two upper fields that we're renovating, and irrigation is going in there, which we didn't have irrigation before. I think they're pretty close to getting ready to seed and sod. I think probably next week or the week after, that's going to happen. And the irrigation heads are in. Malone and McBroom wants to go back one more time, do one last topographic survey, just to make sure it's graded the proper way for drainage before the final seeding and sod installation. So that's coming along really well. It should be done pretty soon. It obviously won't be open this fall. One field is being sodded, one is being seeded. Sodded one, really, there should be no question that would be playable in the spring. The seeded one, I probably wouldn't open it in the spring, because I like to give 2 seasons for the roots to get down deep. You get kids on there, people on there too soon, and it chews it up, and I think it's better to hold off. They've been without, this fall, they're without those 2 fields and the other Cox field, the lower field, we shut down just because it is so beat up, we have to do renovations on it. So we've been working on that, and another issue is the baseball field at the high school. There are still some drainage issues that we're been meeting with the Malone McBroom on that one there. A lot of water runs, when we were there for the Ralph Chapani dedication, if you remember, there's a very steep bank on the third base side.
Yeah.
And when it rains, like a day like today, the water runs down that hill. They did put a drain at the bottom there, so it does capture some of it. But before they did that, the dugout was getting flooded out every time there was a big rainstorm. And that's been corrected to some extent, but it gets wet. And that's the way we go in and out with our vehicles to mow and do grooming of the field. It's getting compacted, and it's just, the grass isn't doing very well there. So you're looking at some options to correct that. So we've been weighing in on that one.
What about mowing over at the high school on those slopes that were so dangerous that,
Guys been doing it.
is it all right?
They've been getting it done. I tell you, I didn't think there's any way they could do it with those mowers
And
we
they
have.
did.
Are they safe?
I worry about the injuries.
I mean, I
Well,
know they're so
you
far,
know, I
but
think,
what
we-
about-
because it's been so dry, I'm concerned if there's a lot of dew, in the morning, and it gets wet, the mower's sliding down the hill there. But I think what they've been doing is kind of going almost straight up. I thought they might go on an angle. I think they've been going up and down, and so, but they've been doing it. But again, it was such a dry summer. The other thing, because it's a dry summer, the grass hasn't been growing as fast on those banks, so I don't think we're doing it every week, it's every couple of weeks there. But now with the fall picking up and the grass growing faster, we're gonna have to do it more often. We did just buy a 4-foot walk-behind mower that we had in our budget. We just purchased it, I think, we get it last week? I think we just got it last week or the week before. And so the idea was to use that on some of those real steep banks where we don't wanna go with a rider mower.
But not up and down across, it would be, because I see them coming down and sliding underneath
Yeah.
on the way down.
Yeah.
So they'd go across.
I think they would probably go diagonal on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
But there are also a lot of areas up there are a lot of little evergreen trees, so it's a lot of weaving in and out, like doing a slalom. And again, that's part of the reason we put this 4-foot walk behind in the budget, so we can get around those kinds of areas where it'd be hard to do with our 6-foot mowers.
Right.
And I think you saw in Tony's report, he mentioned that it's the added hours it is to do that. Before, in the old fields, it took 2 guys 6 to 8 hours, now it takes 2 guys 2 days.
That's a
That's
substantial increase.
It's a
changing.
big increase.
And we need
The-
to address that.
Yeah, have the high school discussed changing that? Because I know when we first talked about it, we said, couldn't they just plant?
Plant ivy or
Like,
something.
economic mulch or
Pachysandra
whatever that
or
is.
something.
Yeah, Pachysandra.
Well, the
Yeah,
big
I
thing
mean-
was the safety and to get them off of that hill.
Right.
But now it sounds like it's not only safety, okay?
It's a cost factor.
Now it's a
Yeah.
cost factor, especially
Well, I
ongoing.
mean, we anticipated that's why they did give us an additional full-time guy. He started in January, I think. Remember, this year was a half year?
Right.
And it's a full year next year? Because we had asked for that in the budget, knowing this was gonna be extra work, so we did get an extra full-time guy. But it takes longer to do all this.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's-
I think the conditions lent themselves to be that, number one, they weren't mowing as much, but also it was drier.
Mhm.
However, moving forward, I think that's something we really need to look at and either have someone come in and watch them or assess that area and the way they're cutting, because we want to be proactive,
Right.
not reactive
Yeah.
to, God forbid, something
Mhm.
happening.
Like a safety expert.
A safety expert,
Yeah.
yeah, somebody that is
Maybe
an
Kermit,
expertise
actually
in
coming
that.
next Monday.
Yeah, ask Kermit.
Just to do a kind of, either monitor when someone's there, or look at it and then weigh in prior to them, and then look at the mowing, but
Or both. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a concern for me.
It is.
I really worry
I
about
agree.
that.
Yeah,
And
Kermit
knock on wood, thank
is
God
coming here
it's
next
been
Monday for
fine.
something, so I'll talk to Joey and see if he can take a look at that.
I think it'd be
Good.
smart to be reactive,
that.
Yeah.
proactive.
Yeah. Okay.
How about the Green Committee, Section B?
Actually, there's a meeting on Wednesday. And Tony's meeting with the chairman of that committee, Jerry Silbert, tomorrow morning on the green, just to talk a little bit about some renovations on the south end of the green. I think I might have mentioned the last meeting, we did some seating and top dressing on the southeast corner by the Guilford Savings Bank, that corner.
You did mention that.
Yeah, probably wasn't the best time to do, because it was like 2 weeks before the Handgrass Fair. And there were vehicles driving in and out of there, so it doesn't look like we did much, but we'll hit that again in the fall. But Tony's meeting with him tomorrow there. and talk about a plan of attack.
7C, Land Acquisition Commission. I have nothing to report except that a meeting has been tentatively scheduled for Thursday, October 6th. We've not had meetings in September, August, July, June, and possibly May. So that's it. Suzanne, I know you have to leave at a certain time. Is there anything under unfinished business you'd like to see us discuss now? while you're here?
Golf course.
Okay. Okay. So let's move 8E up to the top of 8, unfinished business. Rick, you ready? You can go.
Want me to kick it off?
You can start.
All right, so
I think it's fair to say we're very excited about this, for a number of reasons.
I met a couple of weeks ago, you remember there was an article in the Courier about disc golf? And the guy who was featured in that article, I met with, I guess 2 or 3 weeks ago, with Sean and Ellen. And we talked about disc golf, we talked about, he's coming to the event at Jacobs Beach to demonstrate it, and so I had asked him, are there any disc golf courses at golf courses? Because a lot of them are through the woods and, And he said, yeah, there's some. He mentions one up in Greenfield, Massachusetts. He mentioned a few different places. So then we set up a meeting with George Page, the chairman of the Golf Course Commission, and Jack, and I met with them at the golf course. We walked halfway through the golf course and, had a lot of conversations about it. And so I had asked, I forgot the young man's name.
Ben
Seibel, yeah, Ben. We're standing there, I said, so as a disc golfer, what's your excitement level about a potential disc golf course on the golf course? He said, extremely high. And then we'd ask George Page, as a golfer, what's your excitement, he likes the idea of it, but he's one person.
Exactly.
One of 9.
And they're addressing it, I think, wasn't Ben gonna meet with them tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, the meeting.
Their
More
golf
people
course.
want to be on it.
The idea is that we've been asked to help, in some way, help with the golf course. We don't know the extent of what that is yet, but, what I had talked to George about when I introduced this idea to him, I said, maybe, because he keeps saying the golf, like, statewide is dropping. It's just not a good year. It's just, a lot of golf courses aren't doing great, And we have a great golf course. It's one of the nicest ones in New England for a 9-hole golf course. It's beautiful. It really is pretty up there. And so I said, maybe you have to think of adapting a little bit. And, I don't mean eliminating golf, but have something along with it. And this sounds like a perfect kind of marriage kind of thing.
Yeah, the Guilford Lakes, if there's a Guilford Lakes disc golf, it would be on the golf course, but it wouldn't be on the greens,
Right.
It would be next to it. And people said, well, what about the divots? He said, well, there are fewer divots with the disc. There's a disc just goes into the ground, you can pull it out, unlike with golf where the divots fly away.
Chunks.
So that's not an issue. I think it's probably an issue of people adjusting to the reality of that situation and the fact that it can be a revenue. And we even thought about, well, aren't there some woodlands back into the golf course? And maybe there aren't enough, but it's, you YouTube, go on YouTube and look up, and you'll see most of the YouTube golf courses are not on a golf course. It's through the woods. But we're trying to do something for the golf course to get them some revenues. It could work.
Well, it's definitely a cutting edge thing that people are really getting into.
And none of the shoreline.
And I was going to say, not in our
Yeah.
area, so if we were to have it, we would be able to draw from so many areas beyond our own boundaries because no one else offers it.
Right.
But you don't want to cut into the time of the golfers, is the
No,
problem.
it has to be a.
Well, that's.
And that's the
That's
problem.
what they have to
Work out.
wrestle with.
Yes.
They have to, that plus the
Absolutely.
notion of change. And I can say, if it doesn't work out on the golf course, and I sure hope it does, we have a perfect alternative, and when you go into
Peddlers.
Pennsylvania Park Road, you go to the right, there's that wooded area, and that would be perfect for the wooded type of golf course rather than a golf course.
That'd be
golf course.
great, because
It'd be
we've
great.
always wanted to,
Yeah.
do something.
So-
Use that, utilize that great property.
Yep.
People could take advantage.
I was at Wickham Park up, it straddles Manchester and East Hartford.
Oh, yeah. that's a
And they have a big disc golf course there, which I was familiar with. And I was up there last Monday when I was on vacation. We took a day trip up there. And when I was sitting at a picnic table eating, there were 6 or 8 people walked by who were playing disc golf. They were just there playing. There it's free. I mean, you pay to get into the park, but it's not like the golf course where you'd have to pay like a user fee there. But one of the guys lived in East Hampton, I think, and I told him who I was, and I was asked how often they play, and he was talking about disc golf. But I said, we're looking at maybe doing something in Guilford on a golf course. He said, oh wow, he was really excited about that potential. He said, if it's not there, it'll be somewhere in Guilford. There will be one in Guilford at some point.
Good.
But the point I'm making is that in the 15, 20 minutes, I was sitting at this picnic table eating my lunch with my wife and sister and brother-in-law. There were 6 or 8 people who had walked by who were playing disc golf. So it's pretty popular.
We're on the cutting edge of coming into it.
I think so.
And I
Be
think,
wonderful.
Jack, the other thing that George, when we were up there was like one person playing golf. He said there are certain times where there aren't a lot of golfers. So I think the idea that he was suggesting, correct me if I'm wrong, was that it wouldn't necessarily be just traditional golf and disc golf at the same time. There might be certain hours that
That's what
are
I'm
set
saying,
up.
it'd have to be, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would make sense.
yeah.
Yeah, and just to be clear, I
Let's see what
think
happens.
our first priority is to get it at the golf course, the Guilford Lakes Golf
Yes.
Course.
Yeah,
We would
For a
probably be like
variety
the
of
first one on the
reasons.
shoreline, because I mean, according to when I'm Googling it, there's one in Bridgeport,
yeah.
Right.
and there's one in Cheshire, or north of Cheshire,
Wallingford is one.
Wallingford,
Yeah.
and Bristol.
But nothing on the shoreline.
Nothing on the shoreline.
Yeah.
No, that's
Other
it.
than
So
Bridgeport.
I think it would be very attractive.
I think so.
It's up to the golf commission now to,
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
okay,
Yep.
well, let's see what they do.
Okay, unfinished business, B, repairs and refurbishing of the community center.
Yes, well,
Rose and Rick?
we know the floors were done, they're nice. And Todd's been painting rooms little by little, wall by wall,
Yeah.
half a wall by half a wall, but
Chipping away at
he's
it.
chipping away at it.
That's what they do,
What
big
has-
bridges.
Did you just say
I
that?
just said that at the same time.
What about the hallway?
Hallway, oh, yeah.
Any bids on the hallway?
Not yet,
Okay.
no.
I noticed there was a line item were carpets cleaned. I think there was something like $500 in there. Were any carpets cleaned?
Yeah, it was this one right here.
This one, okay.
And I think did you do the hallway here? I think the hallway, I think it was this in the hallway. We usually, twice a year, we try to do carpet cleaning, at least twice a year. And usually we do it like right after winter, because that's when all
Right.
the sand and
Sand
everything.
and the salt, yeah.
The main corridor downstairs, we do that one. And then whatever other rooms seem to need it the most. But this one hadn't been done in a long, long time. And so they did this room probably, was it,
Is this
end of
original?
August, I
Is this
think.
original carpet in here?
This is, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's 24 years old. Yeah.
No, because I'm
Still
looking
pretty
at
good
it, I'm
shape.
thinking, yeah, but like the edges are.
Yeah.
edges are a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good quality carpet though they put in here. Obviously, when you think about it, it's fit
But I
here.
think, once we get it painted, we do need to look at the floors. I mean, and maybe even starting to replace some of it, putting down tiles, because a lot of people are not using carpet anymore, they're putting down tiles. And maybe we
That's
need
right.
to
Easier to
start
clean.
You're
to
right.
Yep.
You're right.
do a room at a
Transition.
time and start to transition over.
Yeah.
Well, and if you put, not that I want, but if you put tile down, you have more use for the rooms. Like you could do more of the
Yes.
arts and crafts and the cooking and those other programs that
Like spilling
are
things
having,
in?
Yes.
are having a hard time
Mhm.
finding space for
Yeah.
because you can't do
You're
that in
limited
here.
on certain.
Yeah.
Right, I agree. That's
Well, and
why
also
they're
these
clean- easier to clean
carpets
and
have mold
sanitize
issues.
by
I'm
far.
they're
talking
cleaner.
to Miss Allergy here.
Yes, me too. A lot of places are doing that now.
8C, Jacobs Beach Boardwalk extension
Um,
/ shade structure.
Yes. Will Thompson, the architect, has started the pre-survey and also the environmental study.
Great.
So we're moving forward.
Body.
Me?
You,
Say it loud? Oh,
if you can.
yeah. Will Thompson, the architect, thank you,
You're welcome.
has started the pre-survey and also the environmental study. So we are moving forward, and we're waiting to hear back from him. But we're excited. It's going to be that final piece that is really important to the beach itself and getting that shade
Great.
structure, which
Okay.
we need.
Okay.
Okay. We did Cox?
Rick, have you adequately discussed 8D Upper
I
Coxfield?
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8F Long Hill Park boundary.
The survey's been completed. I haven't gotten the blueprint yet, but, and I haven't been able to get out there to see where the stakes are, but,
Did they tell us there were any surprises?
no, it's good news. The controller is on our property.
Okay.
That's the thing we weren't sure about, because it was kind of,
It's round that goes on the side of that building storage.
yeah, yes, the irrigation controller that's there, and so it's a little, it's close, but it is on town property there, and
on our property?
so it's staked out now, so now we know where it is. But I asked them to give me, like at the blueprint, so we have something on file now that shows where that is.
Rick, is there any way, go ahead. Is there any way we can permanently stake that?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Because
Stakes versus
anybody
pins.
can move that.
Probably should be, yeah, it should be
I
like a,
mean, some places they have like iron.
They usually
bars,
do the
you know?
iron
Or little
bars.
concrete,
Well, yeah, well, in this case, it might be warranted.
those little concrete things, okay.
Yeah.
It might be,
That's-
I think we should look
That's
at doing
exactly what
that.
I was gonna ask, because to have those just
Right.
staked and
Right.
not pinned or
Right.
with the cement. And the pins,
yeah.
while, they're always there, you can't see them because grass grows over them. As Rose said, those little cement squares, those you can keep visible for longer. Otherwise, you have to go back with that little rod thing that finds the pins in the ground.
Yeah. Well, I do have to follow up with him to get the blueprint, so I can ask him about that.
Yeah. If he hasn't done it, I think it's something that we should enjoy
And if the
doing.
properties
the
that next
stakes
door
are
is ever
there.
sold, it's very obvious
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
it's been
and
staked.
preferably the cement squares, not the pin. There's a word for them, I don't know what it is, but not the pins.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
Because those get eliminated, you cannot find those after, a couple of
After-
mowing.
Exactly.
Few years.
Yeah. And I would say that,
Glad we got that done.
when we had that park walk, somebody asked the resident, well, where's your boundary? And he pointed it out, and as I could see it, it confirms what the survey subsequently found, that aerator, that water device was on our property. I remember asking him twice, now where's your property line again? And sure enough, it was there. And what also is the fact that on those two poles that are there are signs that say private property
On the telephone poles?
on the telephone poles. And that's clearly
Town
the
property.
town property.
Yeah.
Clearly.
And those need to be
So-
removed.
But let's pursue it, and we know that the soccer season will be over soon.
Mid-November.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
The park closes for how many months? 4 months, 5 months?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So we have time.
Mhm.
Okay.
Good.
Item 9, new business.
Took care of that.
Hearing none?
Yeah.
The only new business I have is the meeting is October 3rd, 2016.
6:30.
2 weeks, right?
Be like Groundhog Day. I make a motion
You
to
know it's
adjourn.
Rosh Hashanah. Does
Oh,
it
yeah,
affect
that's what
anybody?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's, doesn't affect me,
Darn.
but,
Okay.
that was the one thing I wanted.
That's our regularly scheduled
It's
meeting,
a regular,
correct?
I mean, I don't know if it affects anybody on the board.
Mhm.
It is it's a no school day, so I don't know if it'll affect.
It usually does.
But,
All right.
That's it, well, we can check, because
See what happens.
we follow the pattern of holidays or religious observances with the town hall.
Right.
But if there are, one or more people on the commission, maybe we should consider moving it.
Is the town hall closed?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
The 10th is
No.
Columbus Day, we'd have to,
Close the following Monday because that's
Yeah.
Columbus Day.
Columbus Day.
Well, so that's probably should keep it.
Let's keep it there for now and see how many people cannot make it
Okay,
before we.
okay, that makes sense.
So I
The
made a
motion on the table, it
Yes.
needs a second. Motion to adjourn?
Second?
We know you're all in favor, right? Diane, I don't know. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, Peter.